you are failing, quietly, slowly, invisibly, because of one thing. The things you know to be true that you refuse to act on. We live in an era drowning in motivation. Quotes on phone wallpapers, podcasts every morning, reels at 2 a.m. telling you to believe in yourself. And yet, you are still in the same place you were 12 months ago. So today, we are not doing inspiration. Today, we are doing surgery. 8 quotes, not the ones plastered on coffee mugs, not the ones your manager pins on the office board, the ones that actually cost something to read, because they demand something from you in return. These words were written by men who had already lost everything, survived everything, and rebuilt everything. Men who understood something the modern world is desperately afraid to say out loud. Stay with me until the last quote, because by the time this is over, you will either make a decision or you will realize you already have. 1. Everyone must choose one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Jim Rohn. Read that again. Not one of 2 outcomes. Not one of 2 outcomes. One of 2 options. One of 2 pains. Jim Rohn was not offering you a comfortable path. He was telling you, with the bluntness of a man who had been dead, broke, and later built an empire, that pain is not avoidable. Pain is the currency. The only question is, which pain you are buying with your days. The pain of discipline is real. Waking up early when the bed feels like the only honest thing in your life. Saying no to something that feels good right now. Doing the work when nobody is watching and nobody's clapping. But that pain ends. It pays out. It compounds. The pain of regret? Regret doesn't end. It just changes shape. It shows up at 40 when you are watching someone else live the life you planned. It shows up at 60 when you realize there is no time left to restart. It is the quietest, most devastating pain a human being can carry. How to apply this in your life right now, not after this video. Identify one thing you have been avoiding, one thing you know you should be doing but aren't. The gym, the business plan, the conversation you keep postponing. Ask yourself honestly, what is the discipline this requires? 1 hour a day, 3 weeks of discomfort. Then ask yourself, what does the regret look like in 5 years if you don't? Choose your pain, because you are choosing it whether you decide consciously or not. Drop in the comments, what is the one thing you have been avoiding that this quote just called you out on? Be honest, you are anonymous here. 2. Worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. Mark Twain. Mark Twain was many things, a satirist, a storyteller, a man who outlived 2 of his children and nearly went bankrupt twice. He was not a man who spoke lightly about suffering. And this line, this one quiet line, might be the most financially accurate description of anxiety ever written. Think about what debt means. You borrowed something, you spent it, now you are paying it back with interest. You owe it. Worry does the same thing, except you never borrowed anything. You are paying interest on a future that has not happened yet, on a conversation that might not go badly, on a failure that might never come, on a disaster that exists only in the theater of your own mind. And the brutal irony? The worry itself costs you your sleep, your focus, your relationships, your ability to act clearly in the present moment. You pay the debt, and then nothing happens, and you never get that payment back. How to apply this in your life? When you feel the pull of worry, ask a single question. Is this real, or is this imagined? Write it down if you have to. Literally write the worry. Then ask, can I act on this right now? If yes, act. If no, it is an imaginary debt. Close the account. This is not toxic positivity. This is financial discipline applied to your mental life. Type below, I am done paying debts I don't owe. Say it like you mean it. Let the comment section know. 3. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca wrote this nearly 2,000 years ago. He was a man who was exiled by an emperor, recalled, became one of the most powerful men in Rome, and was eventually ordered to kill himself by the same ruler he had served. He knew suffering, real suffering, not the kind we manufacture in our heads at 11 p.m. while staring at the ceiling. And still, he said this, the conversation you are dreading, You have already had it 47 times in your mind. In every version, it goes badly. In your imagination, you stumble over your words. They reject you. You lose. The real conversation usually takes 3 minutes and ends fine. The medical test you're avoiding, you have already buried yourself in your mind. You have already told your family. You have already grieved. And then the results come back and it is nothing. We are extraordinary architects of our own suffering. We build elaborate, detailed, emotionally convincing pain, and we live inside it voluntarily. How to apply this in your life? The next time you catch yourself catastrophizing, finish the sentence, and then what? Walk the fear all the way to its end. Most fears, when you actually follow them to their conclusion, either have a solution or are survivable. Seneca's gift is this. Awareness of the mechanism is the first step to breaking it. You cannot stop imagining, but you can learn to audit your imagination. Tell me in the comments, what imaginary suffering have you been carrying around that hasn't actually happened yet? Let's put it in the open. 4. No amount of anxiety makes any difference to anything that is going to happen. Alan Watts. Alan Watts was the kind of man who could make you feel profoundly comfortable with the fact that you have no control, and before you dismiss that, understand what he is actually saying. He is not saying nothing matters. He is not preaching apathy. He is saying something far more unsettling: your anxiety. Specifically, your anxiety has never once changed an outcome. Not once. The plane did not land safely because you white-knuckled the armrest for 6 hours. The job interview did not go well because you rehearsed your panic attack in the parking lot for 40 minutes. Anxiety is not preparation. It is not caution. It is not diligence. It is the illusion of control. It feels like you are doing something. You are doing nothing except spending your nervous system's energy on a problem it cannot solve. The thing is going to happen, or it is not. And when it does, you will either deal with it, because humans are remarkably adaptive, or you will not. Either way, the anxiety you carried getting there did not help. How to apply this in your life? Separate preparation from anxiety. Preparation is actionable. I can research this, practice this, plan for this. Anxiety is the loop that starts after preparation ends. The replay of what could go wrong once you've already done everything you can. When you catch yourself in that loop, the jaw tightening, the spiral at 1 a.m., ask, have I done what I can do? If yes, you are no longer preparing. You are punishing yourself for being human. Stop, breathe. The outcome does not care about your anxiety, neither should you. Drop this in the comments if you needed to hear this today. Anxiety is not preparation. Let somebody else who needed this see it too. 5. It may seem difficult at first, but all things are difficult at first. Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi fought his first duel at 13 years old. By the time he was 30, he had survived over 60 duels against samurai, against schools of swordsmen, against men who had trained their entire lives to kill people like him. He never lost, and this man who had earned the right to say something profound, said something almost embarrassingly simple. Everything is hard at first. That is it. That is the whole secret. But here is what makes it profound. Musashi is not telling you that things get easier. He is telling you that difficulty at the beginning is not a signal that you are on the wrong path. We live in a culture that has decided that if something feels hard, it must mean you are not meant for it. You're not talented enough, not cut out for it, not built for this. That is a lie that has cost more potential than any other single belief in human history. The first time you ran, your lungs burned. The first time you tried to manage a team, it was chaos. The first time you wrote, it was embarrassing. The first time you built anything, it looked nothing like what you saw in your head. That is not failure. That is the entrance fee. How to apply this in your life? Every time you feel the resistance of something being difficult, pause before you quit. Ask, am I struggling because I am incompetent? Or am I struggling because I am at the beginning? Those are two completely different situations. One requires a change in direction. The other requires a change in patience. Most of the time, brutally honestly, it is the second one. What did you almost quit that you are now grateful you didn't? Drop it in the comments. Somebody watching right now needs to see your answer. 6. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Seneca. We have a problem in the modern world that no generation before us has ever had to deal with at this scale. We have been sold the idea that happiness is a destination. When I lose the weight, when I get the promotion, when the relationship is right, when the business hits that number, when the kids are older, when things settle down. And so you live in a permanent state of almost happy. You are working toward it. You are building toward it. You are suffering now so that you can live later, and years pass. Seneca, a man who had more wealth, status, and power than almost anyone in his time, wrote this not as an aspiration. He wrote it as a warning, because he had watched powerful people postpone their own lives so completely that they arrived at the end of those lives without having lived them. Anxious dependence upon the future is one of the most quietly devastating phrases in all of philosophy, because that is exactly what we do. We do not just hope for the future, we are dependent on it for our emotional survival. Without it, right now, we feel empty. That is not hope. That is avoidance, dressed up as ambition. How to apply this in your life? This is not about abandoning goals. Goals matter. Ambition matters. But tonight, not after you achieve the next thing. Identify one thing in your current life that is genuinely good. 1. It does not have to be dramatic. The ability to watch this video, a conversation you had recently that meant something, your own capacity to breathe and think. Build the habit of noticing the present before it becomes the past you wish you had appreciated. The future will come. You cannot enjoy it in advance, but you can destroy the present trying. Tell me one thing, just one, that is genuinely good in your life right now. I will read every single one. Make the comment section proof that we still know how to notice good things. 7. No man is free who cannot control himself. Pythagoras said this around 500 BC, 500 years before Christ, before psychology, before self-help as an industry, before any of the frameworks we use today to understand human behavior. And he nailed it so completely that nothing written since has really improved on it. You want freedom? Real freedom? Financial freedom? Time freedom? The freedom to choose your life? Then there is an uncomfortable prerequisite that nobody in the freedom-selling industry wants you to think about too carefully. You have to be free from yourself first, because right now, how many of your decisions are actually yours? The drink you reach for when you are stressed, the phone you pick up when you are bored, the argument you escalate when you know you should walk away, the food you eat when you are not even hungry, the resentment you carry from a conversation 6 months ago that you replay on demand. Who's making those decisions? Is that freedom? Or is that a different kind of imprisonment? One with no visible bars. A man who cannot say no to his impulses will never be able to say yes to his purpose. Not consistently. Not when it costs something. How to apply this in your life? Choose one area, just one, where you know you lack self-control. Not the one you are comfortable admitting. The one you are slightly ashamed of. Now practice saying no to it once today. Not forever, just today. Slightly ashamed of. Now practice saying no to it once today. Not forever, just today. Build the muscle, because self-control is not a personality trait. It is a skill. It is trained through repetition exactly the way a body is trained at a gym. The man who controls himself is not rigid. He is free, because every impulse he does not obey is a choice he gets to make for himself. Drop in the comment, what is the one thing you know you need to stop letting control you? You do not have to explain, just name it. The first step is seeing it clearly. 8. Almost nothing material is needed for a happy life for the one who has understood existence. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He commanded the largest empire in the known world. He had access to everything. Everything. Palaces, armies, wealth beyond any reasonable conception. And he wrote this, not for publication, not for an audience. In a private journal he never intended for anyone to read, which means he believed it. And here is why that should stop you cold. We are living in the most materially abundant period in all of human history. You have access to food, entertainment, communication, and comfort that Roman emperors could not have dreamed of. You have a device in your pocket more powerful than the computers that landed men on the moon. And many of us have never been more hollow, because material abundance and understanding existence are not the same thing. Understanding existence means this: you are here briefly. The people around you are here briefly. The problems that feel permanent are not. The pleasures you are delaying your life to purchase will not deliver what you think they will. And the version of yourself that you are waiting to become before you start living is not coming to rescue you. You are the version, right now, with what you have. In this moment, Marcus Aurelius did not write this to make you feel guilty for wanting things. He wrote it so you would stop outsourcing your peace to things that cannot provide it. How to apply this in your life? Ask this question tonight, alone, honestly. What do I believe I need before I can be happy? Write the list, then ask, if I never got any of this, could I still be okay? Not perfect, not thriving, just okay. The answer, if you go deep enough, is yes. And that yes, that quiet, uncomfortable yes, is the beginning of real power, because you stop chasing from scarcity and start building from stability. This is the most important comment you will leave today. What is one thing you thought you needed to be happy, that you already have? I want to read yours. 8 quotes, 2,000 years of combined wisdom, and they all say the same thing in different ways. The life you want is not on the other side of the next achievement, the next purchase, the next version of yourself. It is on the other side of a decision. The decision to stop carrying imaginary pain, to stop paying imaginary debts, to stop waiting for difficulty to disappear before you begin, to stop outsourcing your peace to things that cannot hold it. You already know what to do. You have known for a while now. The question was never information. The question is whether you are ready to choose. If something in this video landed somewhere real for you, if even one of these quotes felt like it was written directly at your life, like, subscribe, and turn in the bell icon, because this is what we do here every single day. We do not do empty inspiration. We do honest philosophy for people who are serious about the one life they have been given. Don't forget to share, drop a comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. I will see you in the next one.